Welcome to Dream Time at the G, Essendon versus Richmond, a night we recognise the valuable contribution the Indigenous community plays in Australian rules football. 84 Indigenous players currently on AFL lists, and one of those is young bomber Courtney Dempsey, who joins us. Thanks for your time, Courtney. What does a night like this mean to you?
Tonight, for me, it means, that it's good to see that AFL is interested in and taking notice of the contribution that the Indigenous players are playing a part in the AFL, and I think it's really good.
Are you extra nervous about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you think it's just another game through the home away season, but I mean, this is just like a big, like a final for us. I mean, this is where we get to show our talent.
Great skills.
Yeah.
I was reading with interest yesterday, your tribal name, your nickname is the Emu. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, but back when I was young, I used to do a lot of athletics, and I used to obviously win a lot of races. So my grandparents gave me my name, and I don't actually know the proper name for it, but I know what it means.
Well, the Emu sounds good anyway. Quickly, you nervous?
Yeah, very nervous, and obviously it's always nervous before a game, but yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks for joining us and good luck.
No worries, thanks, Rob.
Time now to welcome Anthony Hudson.
Thank you, Quarters. Good evening, everyone. It's dark over the MCG at the moment, but that is about to change as the celebration of the contribution of the Indigenous players begins. Dream time at the G between Essendon and Richmond has become a real highlight on the football calendar. Another wonderful pre-match is ready to go. Here's Craig Willis.
Good evening and welcome to Dream Time at the G for the 6th year. Tonight's match is a tribute to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander contribution to our great game. And it makes a proud statement about the role Australian football has played and will continue to play in building understanding and positive partnerships between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and non-Indigenous Australians. Tonight celebrates the influence and contribution of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander players and communities to the game, along with the role the game plays in building bridges between cultures. Earlier today, the Long Walk, supported by Qantas, commenced with Indigenous and non-Indigenous people walking together from Birrarung Ma over the William Barrack Bridge to the MCG. Please acknowledge and welcome the walkers, which includes Michael Long, Catherine Freeman, who's the Qantas ambassador, and Matt Farlett, Telstra Foundation Director, who'll be walking the boundary line this evening. I'd like you now to make welcome to the stage Michael Long, the inspiration behind the Long Walk charity, and who was the first Indigenous legend to be inducted into Essendon's Hall of Fame in March this year.
Welcome to everyone here at the Dream Time at the G. I'm proud to be again standing with you all and to be part of this significant event, an event that continues to grow each year. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people and the Kulin Nations. Thank you to Essendon, Richmond and the AFL for their commitment to a united community, both on and off the football field. Thank you to everyone who has supported the Dream Time at the G game, including Network 10, the Australian Government, DESA, Australia, Qantas, the MCC, the entertainers, the volunteers, walkers and everyone in the stands. I also want to acknowledge the Long Walk, which works all year round for the well-being of Indigenous Australians. We appreciate those who supported us. Let me repeat, tonight is not about Indigenous Australia or white Australia. It is about all Australians. Good luck to both Essendon and Richmond tonight. Thank you.
One
Thank you to Muriel Rose Spearham for performing the call to ceremony. Please welcome Archie Roach, who'll perform Kajiri Lady. To turn your attention to the scoreboard to view a DVD explaining the creator spirits of traditional Aboriginal people's land.
The theme for this year's Dreamtime at the G is Creator Spirits of Traditional Aboriginal People's Land at the 7 AFL home grounds across Australia. These are MCG, Etihad Stadium, Subiaco, Gabba, Amy Stadium, SCG and Skill Stadium. Aboriginal Dreaming, the beginning of time for Aboriginal people, tells many stories of creation, the law of the land and people's relationships. 6 of these stories will be shared with you tonight. The traditional people of the MCG land are the Wurundjeri people. Their creator spirit, Bunjil, will welcome, pay respect and celebrate the visiting creator spirits from the other lands.
Bunjil the Eagle is the creator spirit and lawkeeper of the sacred earth of the Wurundjeri people and the hallowed turf of the MCG. The journey of the ancestors on these lands is protected by the eagle eye of Bunjil. Tilbrookie, the glossy ibis of the Kaurna people, is an ancestral being and a lawman of the Adelaide Plains. Overwhelmed by sadness, his tears formed the 7 freshwater springs along the coast of the Fleurieu Peninsula. The Jagera, Yagara and Yuggara people's campsite at Woolloongabba was once a huge lagoon where the water would swirl in and around like a circle. From far places, the jabiru and the golden heron and a vast number of bird species would gather at the lagoon seasonally. Bayami, the spirit man of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nations, stepped onto Mount Yango, the highest mountain on the Liverpool Plains, and created the Hawkesbury and the Georges rivers. At Skills Stadium in Geelong, the Wathaurong people's creator spirit is also Bunjil the eagle. The Wathaurong people are a part of the 5 clans of the Kulin Nation. Waggle, the creator spirit of the Wajak peoples, is a snake-like dreaming creature who slithered over the present-day Perth and southwest of Western Australia. We are very grateful and thank the elders and community of respective countries for giving permission to tell their stories and their contribution of information. Allow me to introduce to you Bunjil the Eagle, the creator spirit of the Wurundjeri people of the MCG and Etihad Stadium in Victoria. Now we welcome the creator spirit of the Kaurna people, Tilbrookie, the glossy ibis of the AAMI Stadium in South Australia. Now it's time to welcome the Jabiru, the creator spirit of the Jagera, Yagara, Yugarapul people of the Gabba Stadium in Queensland. Let's welcome Bayami, the creator spirit of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation of the SCG in New South Wales. Closer to home, we welcome Bunjil the Eagle, the creator spirit of the Wathaurong people at Skills Stadium in Victoria. And finally, we welcome Wagul, the creator spirit of the Wadjuk people at Subiaco in Western Australia. Let's celebrate the coming together of the creator spirits from the AFL home grounds where the game is played.
To conclude our Dream Time at the G pre-match entertainment for another year, please welcome to the stage Bart Willoughby, with special guests Delene Briscoe and Jimba Possum Burns to perform A Message for Young and Old.
In the life of a young black man, there's really no time in his mind. In his mind, sees a past historic begin. There's gonna be no life. And in his heart, he is his people crying for peace in their soul. So you think that he's gonna forget about the past, so the rich can have a good life. We see the world's problem, but no one sees ours. We give a damn if you really want now. So in the life of a young black man, there is really no time in his mind. This sort of attitude doesn't give us much to say. What's got to be heard? Whoa. No
Would you please thank Bart Willoughby, Delene Briscoe, Jimber Possum Burns, Songlines Aboriginal Music, Archie Roach, James Henry Little, Muriel Rose Spearham, Auntie Joy Murphy-Wandon, Margie Mackay and the Creator Spirit Team, Nikki Ashby and the Movement Australia Dancers. Tonight's Dreamtime at the G Entertainment has been proudly brought to you by the Australian Football League, Essendon and Richmond football clubs, together with event partners, the Australian Government, Learn, Earn, Legend, Qantas, major support partner of AFL Indigenous programs, Melbourne Cricket Club, and DESA Australia.
So another terrific pre-match for this big Dreamtime at the G. Anthony Hudson and Robert Walls rejoining you. Wallsy, good evening to you. We're inside the rooms at the MCG. These special occasion home and away matches mean so much, and the players make that extra effort to try and give their best. I guess it's the buzz of the pre-match and the warm-up during the week. Yep. And then they'll be pretty anxious now as they get ready to hit the MCG and ready to go. Big game for the Tigers, who's still looking for their first win.
Well, they are, Hutto. They were pretty good against the Hawks, almost got over the line. I think they're gradually improving. It's a very young team, of course, and the thing they've got going for them is a little bit of history. They've won 4 of their last 5 contests against Essendon.
Yeah, it's a very good point. You see Essendon there, 3-5. Percentage not great, but they still have time in the season to build their way, perhaps, and repeat last year and make a position in the top 8. The Tigers, well, as we said, they haven't had a win, but they are getting closer. Back in round 5 against Fremantle, they were right out of the blocks at Subiaco, kicked 6 goals in the first quarter. Freo gradually pegged them back and then overran them in the last term. As you can see, the final score there was a pretty comfortable win to Fremantle. But as they've got the weeks have gone on, they've got closer and closer, Rob, and against Adelaide they played 3 really good quarters.
Yeah, they did. I thought the Adelaide game they played well, got overrun towards the end, but that'll happen with a young developing team. Look, they've got back in the side, Cochin's in the team, Cousins is playing tonight, so the midfield's not too bad, and Jack Riewoldt up forward's in really good form. Well,
this is last week against Hawthorn. They finally put 4 quarters pretty much together. They still didn't win the 3rd quarter, and that ended up being costly. But as you can see, that last passage of play, and Shane Tuck unfortunately just couldn't get the ball to boot, and they just couldn't get over the line. But some real encouraging signs as Trent Cotchin has got better and better as the year's gone on, and Nathan Foley showed his value to the team last week. They've got something of a midfield together now, and they've got some excitement in the future there with these young men.
They have, and young Martin can also play half-back midfield. Delidio can go into the midfield. He's been in pretty good form for the Tigers as well. But, gee, I do like Foley. I think Foley's been a terrific player for them. He's had injuries the last couple of years, but when he's up and going, he is really a hard ball get player, in and under, wins a lot of clearances.
And this break away from the clearance is what they love, isn't it? He and Cochin last week were able to just get the ball out of the middle, whether it was hammering forward from Cochin or breaking clear. This man has just had a massive workload, though, Jack Riewoldt, and they need more options up forward.
Oh, look, I think he's terrific, Jack Riewoldt. He's kicked 19 goals this year for the Tigers, and that's way in ahead of the next best. Look, if he was playing for Geelong, we'd all be talking about him because he's got some super talent. He's playing with a struggling team. That makes it hard for him, but he's a very good overhead mark, contested mark. He's kicked 19 goals, 16 behind, so he could be a bit more accurate. But he's only been in the system a few years, cousin of Nick, of course, but he's well on track to be a 10-year player.
Yeah, 26% of their goals. He's also laying lots of tackles, which is terrific. Here's the Bombers, and big game for them. Paddy Ryder, Courtney Dempsey, we heard from them earlier. They need to win, and they need to really show that they are a serious contender. Take a break, come back as the build-up continues to Dreamtime at the G.
More highlights from the long walk tonight. Started at Federation Square, then went to Birrarung Ma, and ultimately finished with 600 people making their way onto the MCG. Wonderful scenes tonight here in Dreamtime at the G game for 2010. Matthew Lloyd, welcome. Let's talk some footy. Can the Tigers finally break the ice this year and upset your old mob?
I wouldn't have thought so, Quarters, but their last couple of weeks has been so much better, and they're getting closer and closer, and just fell short against the Hawks. But I think the Bombers are a stronger outfit.
We're watching the Tigers come out, and I know Anthony Hudson and Robert Walls touched on Jack Revolt. That's amazing. He's kicked 26% of their goals this year.
Yeah, he's got a great pair of hands, as Wallsy said, and I can't wait for that battle tonight. Tate Pearce v Jack Revolt, two emerging superstars of the competition.
And their midfield's starting to take a bit of a shape now with Foley back and Cousins back.
And Cochin had his best game for the club last week, so I think that's their biggest strength. If they can dominate the centre clearances, they're a show.
So the Tigers burst through their banner wearing the alternate strip tonight. Let's have a look at their team, Matthew.
I actually like their key back scorers in Thursfield, McGuan and Calvin Moore. They do a good job. Obviously, Delidio and Newman, they're trying to get their best ball users across half-back, and Asprey's at full forward.
Let's go and listen to their coach, Damien Hardwick. He's speaking to Mark Howard.
Coach, you've gotten very close in the last couple of weeks. You haven't got the 4 points, but you said during the week, as far as you're concerned, the season for the Richmond Footy Club starts tonight.
Yeah, listen, we thought we took a massive step forward. There's some things we tried to implement that sort of came to the fore last week, and from our point of view, we just want to set our standards at going forward that we're 0-0. So, look, we just got to get our intensity up early. Yes, they're a good starting side, so we just hope we can match their intensity early and just come up with some pressure.
Massive battle in the midfield tonight. Your midfield boys have been going well. Cochin's definitely stood up. Foley in there and Cuzzy back in the side this evening.
Yeah, he has. Look, Jackson's obviously a loss, but bringing Cousins in, he's obviously a premiership player, Brownlow medalist, so we don't probably lose a great deal in that area. But look, the midfield battle is going to be crucial. Joe Watson's had an outstanding season, so we'll look to shut him down at some stage.
Just finally, coach, up forward, Jack Rewald's been huge. He's kicked 19 goals. Fair to say you need a bit more from the other boys up there to support him?
Yeah, look, the other boys are young. You know, Jack's kicked 19 goals. He's leading the AFL in tackles inside 50 as well. So Dave Asprey feels going to be a very good player for us. Robbie Nahas and Mitch Farmer will be down there as well tonight. So I hope we can create some forward line pressure and get some goals.
Good luck, coach. Thanks for your time.
Damien Hardwick there, speaking with Mark Howard as the Bombers make their way out. Matthew, what's the club's view on this Dreamtime at the Gym game?
Oh, it's been enormous, and you know, often this would just be another home and away match, but look around, there's a huge atmosphere, and there's a lot to play for.
Great win last week, but they're still a bit hot and cold, aren't they?
I think their last 3 or 4 weeks quarters has been far more consistent. They've really curtailed. Their goals are getting kicked against them, and there's a much better balance that they've been playing with.
Can they play finals?
Oh, I think being 2 games of percentage out, they're up against it. So I think the next week against Dogs and the Swans after this match is really important.
Gee, it's a Bombers crowd, isn't it?
It is. They can see they're getting a sniff. They've challenged Port Adelaide, beaten the Saints last week, so I reckon they're playing much better footy.
We'll ask the coach this question in a moment, but Hill and Ryder, they were the real X factor last week, weren't they?
Oh, it was Hortus to kick 7 goals between them. Obviously, David Hill's been lucky not to be suspended, but he's been a real figurehead for the club.
Good to see Tate Pearce back in action.
Yeah, can't wait. He's the ideal replacement for Cale Hooker, and he'll take Jack Rewalt to allow Fletcher to roam and help him out.
Alwyn Davey, look, he showed so much a couple of years ago. I know he's had rotten luck with injury. Tonight, I reckon he can really shine.
Yeah, I think his last month has been the best footy he's played since his knee reconstruction, and we see Paddy Ryder there. He was enormous last week, and he's really combining well with David Hill.
Well, I reckon... Well, let's have a look firstly last week at Hill and Ryder, and it was a real X-factor. And David Hill, he takes the fine line, doesn't he? But you've got to love a player that plays like that.
He does, and even when they were losing quarters, he was still trying to will himself on the game. It just wasn't working, but he and Joe Watson are as good a combination in the midfield as there is in the competition.
And what about Dustin Fletcher? I read with interest yesterday. He said he wants to play maybe a couple more years.
I think the only thing that could stop that quarters is that if he got a severe injury, but on the way he's playing with his speed and he's going really well.
All right, well, Matthew Knights, the coach of the Bombers, kindly joins us. Hello, Matthew. Extra buzz about tonight?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a great, with the Indigenous game and Dreamtime at the G, and we had Michael Long out during the week, so it's been a fabulous week for the club. And I guess 2 milestones, Dustin Fletcher 321 and Angus Mumphrey's 100 games, so a big night all round.
Just on Dustin Fletcher, talk us through his last month and the form he's been in.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's been great, he's played on the best forwards as well as, helping Tate and Cale, so I mean, he did a wonderful job on Roughhead, and just keep stepping up to the plate, Dustin, and probably enjoying his footy as much as he ever has. So, we hope he can keep moving along and have a good night tonight.
And we just talked to Matthew about it. The X factor last week was Hill and Ryder. Gee, what a bonus getting 7 goals from him. It's not something I guess you try and exploit again tonight.
Yeah, it's something at the start of the year we had thoughts that they could kick goals forward, but I suppose to get 7 is probably above average. So, if they can chime in and get, 2 or 3 each tonight, that'll be great. But I suppose you can't expect them to get 7, 8 every week.
And just down the other end, Nida, in the age spectrum, Jake Melsham, I think he's really improved your team's skill level since he's come back in the side the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been really important for us to get some, newer midfielders in there to try and give them some games. And I think Jake Melsham and Travis Colley and Ben Heller have really helped the skill level. But, Jake particularly, his poise is great and he's really calm under pressure. So, he's got a few good young midfielders in the opposition tonight, so he's going to have to be on his mettle.
How are the quality of the questions, all right?
Yeah, not too bad, yeah.
Matthew, good luck tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
and as we go to the break, let's have a look. Matthew, you were commentating on this game tonight. It was the under-24 players, Southern versus Northern. The Southern team and the Red won. They took part in this Rio Tinto Means Business program. You televised right throughout Australia, and some great names and some great talent.
There was a Pickett out there, there was a Wanganeen, and there was a few big grabs from a few young fellas. That was a Mosquito. He kicked 5 goals on the night.
We're going to take a break from the MCG. It's Essendon versus Richmond. It is dream time at the G.
Wilson just off the interchange bench. Here he comes. Matera paddles the ball in front. Kick a goal. Will it bounce through? Sensational play, Peter Matera.
Kick out wide to get McAdam from.
Pass on the bench. Ronnie Burns just to finish them up. Some magic from Ronnie. What about that one?
Their pitch is about 40 metres out from goal. Charles makes something out of nothing. Throws it on the left foot. That's a great goal. What a beauty.
Kicks North Melbourne back in. Oh, Richmond! That's the mark you've got to love.
The smother by Betts. Kept it alive. The awesome goal! Goal of the year, Eddie!
On the left foot now, they penetrate towards the goal line. Up goes Farmer! That is unbelievable.
To a punter, waiting for the handball, has a bounce, approaches 50, steps inside once, twice, has another bounce, cap it off David Wakanda, cap it off, he does!
McLeod, always dangerous, but he's beautiful.
Somehow he escaped.
And he has just about done it.
The pictures tell the story of the contribution of the Indigenous players to our great game over the years, and let's celebrate it tonight with Dreamtime at the G, Essendon and Richmond. And just about time for the Welcome to Country. And here is Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Football League and the Essendon and Richmond football clubs join together to present Dreamtime at the G. Would you now please make welcome Marty Joy Murphy-Wandon, Senior Wurundjeri Elder, to present the Managum ceremony to Wurundjeri country. The branches of the Managum will be offered to both coaches and captains to symbolise the custom of acceptance, permission and welcome to country by the traditional landowners and curators of the MCG.
Welcome to the 6th year Dreamtime at the G on the traditional land of the Wurundjeri people. We respectfully acknowledge our ancestors, our elders and families past and present. Welcome to Country is a sacred ceremony. We ask the official party to share this ceremony on your behalf. Luke Chandler and Lucas Hyatt will hand out the branches of gum leaves, inviting the umpires, coaches and players to take a leaf from the branch. Taking a leaf is the acceptance of our ancient custom. This also means that you share all we have to give, from the tops of the trees to the roots of the earth. This leaf also symbolises unity, you joining with us to honour our ancestors for nurturing this land for thousands of years. Dreamtime at the G embraces a diversity of cultures and celebrates the participation of our Aboriginal and Islander communities in Aussie rules. We thank Essendon and Richmond football clubs for their engagement in the game. The combination of their team colours represents the colour of the earth, the richness of the skin and the giving of the sun. To our 84 brothers on the AFL player list, we proudly acknowledge your contribution and commitment as an Australian rules footballer. We are immensely proud of you and we applaud you as you take our communities forward in society. To Michael Long and all involved in the Long Walk, thank you for your role in promoting and advancing social change and a healthy well-being for our people. Thank you to all of you for joining us on this occasion. We hope you enjoyed the celebration of Aboriginal and Islander culture. Finally, good luck to both teams, and in the spirit of Bunjil, Waminjakal, Wurundjeri Balak, Yemen Kundibik, welcome to the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people.
Thank you, Auntie Joy. Thank you to the teams. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this wonderful match, Dreamtime at the G.
And Craig Willis have finished off there, and we're just about ready for action. Fantastic crowd here tonight. It always is. They always respond to Dreamtime at the G. It's the 6th time we've played this match. In fact, make that the 5th time, according to mine. I'm not sure if Auntie Joy's stats are exactly right. I think it stands at 2-all, boys, at the Dreamtime at the G. This is number 5. And Richmond's record of recent times is fantastic. They've won 7 of their last 9 against the Bombers.
They have been, but they're not as strong, obviously, losing their first 7 games of the year. And the key is their midfield matchups and also finding some targets up forward. Jack Riewoldt, 19 goals, and the next best is Nahas with 7, then Asprey with 3, Rob. So that's a huge concern tonight.
I would think a lot of Essendon's planning would be into controlling Jack Riewoldt. Who do you think would play on him, Lloydie?
Oh, no, I think Tate Pears will be set for him, and that frees up Dustin Fletcher to help out. So whoever Fletcher goes to, they've got a huge responsibility to at least compete and even be a decoy to try and take him away from the play.
Chris, this is Jenny. Jenny will do the toss. All right, when you're ready, Chris, your call. Go. Tails it is. Heads. Beauty.
So the Bombers win the toss.
Thanks,
beautifully tossed by Jenny Macklin as we go down to Mark Howard.
Ripping night for football, Stephen. A big crowd in. It is crisp down here on ground level, though. Definitely the coldest Saturday night of the year. The Bombers, they've got 8 Indigenous players on their list. 5 are playing tonight. And for the Tigers, Shane Edwards is the solo player playing tonight with Indigenous heritage. Interesting to see as the Tigers ran out too. Trent Cotchin was the player really giving them a rev up. They're fired up, the Tigers. But for mine, boys, I think the Bombers might be a bit too strong by 5 or 6 goals tonight.
Howie whinging about the cold already. Didn't take him long, about 10 seconds. Let's have a look at our tips tonight, boys. Anyone brave enough to go for the Tigers?
No.
Howie, no.
All is quiet on that front.
No. Straight sets the Bombers by looks of things tonight.
It's good to see you having nice amicable discussion out there with your former coach too, Lord, with Matthew Knight. Everything going well there?
Yeah, it's going very well. It's good. They've been very good the last month.
I know we touched on it, but congratulations to Dustin Fletcher. He passed record of games. He now only has 1 player standing in front of him, Simon Madden, 378. It's Dustin's 321st game tonight.
Just turned 35 years of age, and I read today, Matthew, where he suggests that he might even play for another 2 years.
And with another 14 or 15 games to go, he'll go very close with another 2 seasons. But obviously, the only thing that will stop him is injury the way he's playing at the moment. And just his leg speed, his agility, he's great when the ball hits the deck, and he's been a pleasure to watch this year.
Yes, they're big names, aren't they, when you're talking about the likes of Reynolds and Co and Madden. Huge names in the Essendon Football Club. One of our great clubs, and so the Tigers. They haven't been